welcome. I am so happy to have you here. Happy New Year. I know that it has been a long time since I have come back. I have been dealing with a lot of family issues where I've had people be in the hospital and who are actually going into hospice care. And I also have some family members who are having a lot of disability issues where they're not able to walk or stand. And so a lot of my time at the beginning of this year, the end of last year, towards the beginning of this year, was really me just being there, supporting my family, and doing all that I possibly could to help make things a little bit easier as we sort of transition into a new way of living and being. So if you are here, thank you so much for being patient and for truly understanding that sometimes life just does happen and sometimes we have to go with the flow. But I am back and I am ready to give you your messages for this month. Hi, Spirit Fam. Welcome back to the channel. If you are coming back, I want to let you know that I am so grateful to having you here. We truly appreciate each and every single one of you. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So today, Spirit Fam, I have a February energy for this month. This is going to basically tell you what you can expect for this month, what's going on, what kind of energy you're going to be running into this month, and how you are best supposed to handle and respond to the energy that is coming up this month. So, without further ado, Spirit Fam, let's go ahead and check out your piles. So in front of you, you have 4 beautiful piles. This is going to be pile 1. And this is going to be sort of an iridescent looking crystal. Let me go ahead and get this to focus. So it's sort of iridescent looking. I'm not quite sure what crystal this is, as this was given to me by someone who wasn't very familiar with crystals, but it does have a very iridescent look to it. It does sort of look like it might be a quartz crystal that sort of has a little bit of the Aurora Borealis around it. This is going to be pile 2 with citrine. So this is going to be pile 2 with this beautiful rough citrine stone. This is going to be pile 3, and this is going to be a peacock ore crystal. This is a very beautiful crystal that I often utilize when I'm seeking a little bit more joy in my day or some happiness. So this is going to be pile 3. And this is going to be pile 4. So pile 4 is going to be this beautiful tangerine quartz. This is beautiful tangerine quartz crystal. And this is going to be pile 4. So Spirit Fam, I want you to go ahead and get nice and centered. I want you to clear your mind and allow yourself to really be drawn to whatever pile is speaking to you. Once again, we have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Without further ado, Spirit Fam, let's go ahead and dive right into your February message. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your February message and energy. As you can see, we have a new format for our setup as far as the video. So I hope you really like this. Please, comment down below if this is something you would like to see more of. I'm trying different things. So let's go ahead and dive right into your pile, shall we? So starting off for you here, pile 1, we have Unfinished Symphony. with never ending story. Wow, this is a very interesting combination here. So starting off right off the bat here with this unfinished symphony, I want you guys to realize here that with unfinished symphony, this is really speaking about, things that are sort of left undone, right? I feel like this month you might feel like there's just so much that you have to catch up on. And you feel as if there's just not enough time. You could be feeling really rushed. You could be feeling as if, I just wish that I had a little bit more time. Here's what I want to point out for you, because unfinished symphony is a number 10. And so 10 reduces to a 1, which is all about a new beginning. And interestingly enough, you have never ending story with this. So I feel that the message here is going to be very vital and very important for you here, pile 1. So with unfinished symphony, I feel this is really about you recognizing where you're needing to put in a little bit more effort. Maybe prioritize, maybe really tune in to what you're really trying to accomplish. What is the main goal? What is the most important priority that you have to ultimately focus on this month? And then focus all of your energy on that. And instead of beating yourself up, instead of truly harboring such ill criticism towards yourself about things that are left undone or things that are not finished, I really want you to really ask yourself, okay? Really ask yourself, what is it, what is it in that experience that you feel you ultimately need to understand or maybe be a little bit more compassionate towards? Because I feel that with unfinished symphony, it's really about you taking all of the energies that are sort of coming in this month and really sort of molding them together to create something beautiful and something magnificent. But I feel that if you're not really focusing on what is taking priority and you're trying to do too many things at once, then it's not going to be very cohesive, right? You might have a very mixed, matched, chopped up symphony instead of a masterpiece. And the idea here is to get you to build a masterpiece. Now, with never ending story, okay? With never ending story, the message here is to really pay very close attention to the messages, the things that you are telling yourself. What story do you keep repeating over and over and over that you then end up experiencing all of the time? And I feel this is important because I think you need to become aware of your habits. You need to become aware of the things that you constantly do, your behaviors, your actions, your words, the verbiage, all of that. I think you need to be more consciously aware of the story that you have on repeat and recognizing how the more that you continue to tell that story, you end up living it, right? And it constantly shows up in your life in many different ways. And I feel that when you become more consciously aware, maybe it's time for you to rewrite that story. Maybe it's time for you to leave the victimology behind, stop being the victim and be more of the doer and be more of the savior or the hero in your story. And this is going to be important because this never-ending story card is a 37, which also reduces to a 10. So now you have 10-10. And the significance of 10-10 is that you are building, like we're in a new year, right? And so this year, 2024, is an 8 year. And so 8 is all about manifesting. It's all about prosperity and it's all about abundance. And so you need to be really focused in here, pile 1, on what you are trying to manifest. What are you trying to build for your future? And it's important that you recognize that. Now, as I literally said this, the timer on my recording device was 0505. Again, a 10. So I feel that for you, this is all about new beginnings, right? This is about you focusing on the cycle that you inevitably end up continuing to repeat because you're not consciously aware of all of those influx energies and sort of molding them together into a masterpiece. So let's continue. What else do we have for you this month? So interestingly enough, we have trust the guidance you're receiving. I love this because, again, this is ultimately saying to you here, pile one, that you need to trust the information, trust, everything that's coming through. You are constantly hearing someone tell you, maybe you need to change your story. Maybe you need to change your perception. Maybe you need to change the way that you think of things. Maybe you're constantly seeing all of these repetitive numbers that continue to repeat that you continue to see, right? These are all messages. And so with trust the guidance you're receiving, it's saying, Archangel Uriel has blessed you with a brilliant epiphany. I am also present to clear away your worries so that you can trust your divine guidance. So understand that our guides and our angels are always in communication with us, and they speak through us through symbols, through birds, through actual nature. They speak to us through numbers, through frequencies. All of the time, anytime we see number, I want you to understand that those numbers are emitting a vibration, and that vibration is ultimately being emitted into your energy field. And so it is so important that you recognize that the messages you are receiving are giving you the clarity, are giving you the guidance. But the question you have to ask yourself here, pile one, is, are you listening? Are you listening to the messages that your guides and your angels are giving you? Next, we have deeper insights are at hand. So this is saying your overall plan is good, but the details need work. Reflect before moving forward. Yes. Spoke about this with the unfinished symphony here, pile one. So this is truly wanting you to really focus in on what is actually going on in your everyday, right? They're wanting you to know that, where you intend to go, where you are moving to, and what you are doing, that is your path. That is the, path that you are meant to take. And I feel that what you're really needing to focus on is the details, right? Like being more specific, really honing in on yourself, what needs to change, really being aware, where do I need to actually put my attention? It's those smaller little finite details that will ultimately lead you towards the success, that will lead you towards the consistency, that will lead you towards ultimately where you want to go. So I love that you've got both of these messages, because both of these messages are so vital and so important. So let's go ahead and dive into your tarot here. So we have the King of Pentacles here with the Five of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So I feel right off the bat here with this King and this Five of Pentacles, I feel that, your angels and your guides ultimately want you to know that you have all of the resources that you need. You have all of the knowledge, all of the skill sets, but you don't believe in yourself. You don't have enough confidence in yourself, and you're not taking the lead. The King is the leader. Everyone goes to the King for handouts, right? And I feel that you have so much knowledge to give, so much insight and wisdom to give to, others, but you're holding on to it because you don't believe that you have the authority. You don't believe that you are confident or worthy enough to stand in that position. And this is what this month is really going to teach you. It is going to teach you how you need to really trust in your ability, trust in the resources that have been provided for you, and really work on those finite details to get you in that leadership position, in that leadership role. Because look, you have the Wheel of Fortune here, my friends, pile one. With the Wheel of Fortune, this is really saying that things are really going to start taking a big turn for you. You could be experiencing a lot of loss financially right now, or maybe you did in at later on, like last year. But things are ultimately going to start looking up. Things are going to start turning more in your favor. And in order for you to truly witness how things are really turning in your favor, is you got to be confident in yourself and your ability and your skills and your resources and your assets. And you have to really make sure that you are aware, right? Because I feel like, when things really start turning or when change actually presents itself, because the Wheel of Fortune is all about fate and destiny here. And I feel that a lot of times when change starts to happen, we start to panic. And that panic ultimately is what creates fear and doubt in us and then prevents us from actually taking appropriate action. So next you have the World card here. Now the World card is all about that enlightenment and that success and the achievement that you ultimately have, but it's also about the completion of a cycle. And I feel that February is where you're going to be entering, sort of wrapping up all of the old cycles that you all of that unfinished symphony that we talked about earlier here, pile one, that we are going to be letting go so that we can now move towards a new beginning, because you've grown. Everything that you have learned up until this point has sort of molded into this perfect masterpiece that you have to sort of believe in, and it's going to bring in a lot of work for you, right? And I feel that you're going to have to balance things out here with the Two of Pentacles. I feel that, with the Two of Pentacles, it's really going to be about you prioritizing, really recognizing, what, projects you're going to want to focus on and really, hone in on that energy. I feel that, when it comes to balance, it's really about recognizing the balance between work and play, but also the balance between what is good for us and what is not good for us, and really recognizing what I want to focus on and what I don't want to focus on, because it's all about priorities and really recognizing, where our priorities truly lie here. I feel that overall this month, this is really good. I feel like you're leaving behind this self-doubt and you're stepping more into a sense of being the leader, the entrepreneur, or the manager that you were ultimately wanting to be. And it's interesting enough because I usually only get 5 cards when I draw tarot, but you got a 6th card. And I am happy to say here, pile one, that you got the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands. I apologize. The King of Wands. The King of Wands is a great card to actually receive in this instance with the energy that I'm seeing here for you, because this is about you stepping into your power. This is about you being the authority figure in your everyday and truly recognizing that, you're going to take charge of what is currently going on, and you're going to be the leader and actually put forth a lot of energy and passion towards the things that you feel really great about. And that is important. Okay, next up we have empowerment. Look at that. I feel that for you this month, this is really about you being empowered in yourself, in your knowledge, in your skill set, really recognizing how much you have to offer and how much you're actually going to bring forward for other individuals who ultimately are just trying to discover who they truly are. And I feel that this month is really about you becoming more confident in your abilities, in your skills, and in your talents, and really recognizing that. Our last 2 cards for you here is going to be abundance and health. Okay. It doesn't get any simpler than this here, pile one, for you. Abundance is all about, recognizing how lucky, how fortunate, how grateful you truly are for each and everything that is already within your energy field and around you. I feel it's really important that you recognize that the more gratitude that you have, the more abundance will flood to you. And it's all about how you feel and how you think and what you're actually attracting towards yourself. And again, remember that I said 2024 is an 8 year. So it's all about abundance and prosperity and manifestation and the things that we are ultimately going to bring. What I want to point out is that abundance isn't just materialistic. It isn't just about income or finances. It is about abundance in all areas, in our health, in our friendships, in our relationships, in our work, in our play. It is all about, having everything that you could possibly desire and having it all, right? And your next card was health, right? So I really feel that it's going to be very important for you to recognize that you are entering a state this month where I feel you're going to be focusing more on your health. And I feel that this is I feel like what this is mostly referencing here is that this is you becoming more aware of how much stress you're actually carrying, maybe what certain individuals or certain things that that are currently around you that are creating stress or anxiety, those kinds of things, and sort of bringing that into control here. So pile 1, this is going to be your February message. I want to thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, pile 2. Welcome to your February message. So let's go ahead and dive right in and see what information we have for you this month. So we are starting out with TikTok. Okay, this is going to be very interesting here. And then our next message is deep knowing. Okay, so right off the bat here, pile 2, I feel like your primary message is all about learning to trust that the information and the guidance that you are receiving or where you are being led is where you need to be. I feel that you need to understand that there is something called divine timing, right? So not everything is meant to happen in the moment that you want it to happen. Things don't unfortunately work that way. We have to sort of learn how to let go. We have to let go of our expectations or our constraints on having things a certain specific way. I want to point this out because I want you to understand here that when you look at TikTok, you'll notice that it's 2 hands letting go of a hand watch, right? That is sort of has all of these strings with this balloon, right? And it's really about us letting go. It's really about us understanding that we have to let go of our own expectations and desires of wanting things certain specific times and certain specific ways. I feel that when we can learn to surrender and just allow things to be what they are in the timing that they are meant to happen, we end up freeing ourselves from so much stress and anxiety, right? And I want you to understand here that with the deep knowing, this is really about you having that depth and understanding and being truly connected to divine source, that you know without a shadow of a doubt that what you have asked for or what or what your desire is going to happen, but it is going to happen in the time that it is meant to happen. I feel that's important. And sometimes learning to be a little bit patient and waiting for things to transpire when they're meant to transpire is the most important thing. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an example, and I usually don't like to be very personal. I don't like to share a lot of my personal life online, but I'm going to share on how letting go is so important and understanding that there is a time and a place when things are meant to happen, right? I feel a lot of times when we have family members who are, sick, or when they are ill and they're going through something that is really quite traumatic, and they're having to learn to understand that, not everything is going to happen just because we want it to happen in that moment, right? And I feel there's a lot of times where a lot of us have this expectation that we want things right now. We want it right now. right? When we're unclear about our next step or our path of where we're going, and we ask Source or God or our angels for an answer because we're seeking that clarity, we want the answer right then and there. But a lot of times it doesn't come that quickly, right? A lot of times we have to sort of sit in it. And this is the part of TikTok that I feel is the most important, okay? Because we have to understand that sometimes going through a certain specific experience is meant to teach us something, right? So, you know, I have a family member who is experiencing a disability where she cannot walk and she cannot stand, right? And this is coming from someone who has always had that ability, and now something's going on neurologically that we can't understand. And the amount of frustration that has immersed in this individual because she cannot use one leg is beyond our own control. So to the point that it is causing so much stress and so much anxiety. And the thing is that when we are experiencing challenging moments, or when we're experiencing this sense of unwavering that is happening, we're meant to sit in those experiences because we're meant to sort of allow ourselves to be in the state of that experience, to truly be grateful and understanding of what is to come, right? And sometimes, you know, when we are so adamant about trying to control everything because we want everything our way, in a certain way, we want it at a certain time, really what that's teaching us is that we have to learn to surrender and understand that we're not in control of everything. And sometimes we have to go through a discomfort in order to truly understand its opposite. Okay. Now, with the deep knowing, I feel that, you know, this is all about, you know, trusting that spiritual aspect of yourself, trusting, you know, that internal guidance system, that intuition that you have, knowing that you are supported, you are fully supported, you are fully, you know, loved and given all that you need, but you have to trust. And I feel that a lot of times we say that we trust and that we have patience, but yet when it's not happening fast enough, or it's not coming in, you know, when we want it or how we want it, we try to take it back. We try to take that control. We try to steer it in the direction that we want. And I feel for you this month, Pile 2, what this is saying is that you need to surrender. You need to let go. You need to allow things to be what they are and allow things to happen when they are meant to happen. Next we have, ooh, this is beautiful. We have make a decision. Look at that. I feel that there is choice here, and this is falling under TikTok, right? So the interesting thing is that, you know, when we have to learn to be patient, right? When we have to learn to let go and surrender, it's really about a choice. We have to be willing to let go, right? The message is, are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? So really ask yourself, what is currently going on in your daily life here, Pile 2, that you are ultimately needing to make a decision about? What are you prioritizing as you are sitting in this moment trying to figure out what direction to take? Accept divine guidance pointing you toward your own joy. You deserve it. So I feel in this instance, sometimes, right, if you're really trying to hold on to a situation or a person that you know isn't bringing you joy, if you know that holding on to it is bringing more sorrow, more sadness, more anger, more frustration, more pain, then what is the point of holding on to it? When it would be so much easier to just let go and you release that pain, that frustration, that anger, that anxiety, and that sadness. Okay? Next, you have Archangel Michael is with you now. Now, I love this because this is falling under deep knowing, right? And the beautiful thing here is that this is proof that your inner guidance system, your intuition, is really letting you know that you are being supported. You have Archangel Michael here, pile 2, showing up for you loud and clear, letting you know, even though you can't see it, I am actively working on this situation. I am here and helping you. So whatever you've got going on here, pile 2, know that you have a team that is supporting you. They are there providing you with solutions, clarity, right? But are you listening? I think that's the important thing, because if you're expecting it to be a certain way or to show up in a certain way, then you're not really paying attention, because it'll show up in whatever form it's meant to show up in. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here. So starting off, we have the Ace of Cups. Love this. With the Eight of Swords. Okay, this is interesting because I feel like what's currently going on for you this month, or what is transpiring for you this month, is that you're feeling very restricted, very bound to living life in a certain way. I feel like there's a lot of attachment to living or experiencing life in a certain way, and it could be with a certain specific someone or just an outcome of some sort, an expectation, as you will. And I feel that you're really feeding the illusion aspect of that, right? And it's mostly all of these doubts and fears that are sort of circulating in your mind that are really preventing you from seeing the truth. They're preventing you from seeing what's really there or what's really going on. Your solution to that is to listen to your internal guidance system, to tune in with your intuition, right? To trust. Right? And when we say trust, we mean let go. Let go of certain expectations that you have, attachments that you have. Be willing to trust that everything will pan out the way it is meant to pan out for the highest good of all in this particular situation. Next, we have the Four of Swords here, pile 2. And the Four of Swords is really wanting you to be aware that sometimes you have to take a step back. You have to reflect. When we take a step back and we pause and we allow ourselves to truly reflect on what is transpiring, we're open a little bit more to listening, to being aware of what is actually transpiring, and then being able to truly ask for the guidance and a suggestion of how we want that to be resolved. I feel that you need to know that no matter what, pile 2, you are being led, you are being supported, you are being loved, and they are assisting you with this. But understand that it's not going to look the way you want it to look, and it's not going to be packaged in the certain way that you might want it to be packaged. I say this because with the Six of Pentacles here, you have to recognize that energy needs to be reciprocal. So in this particular situation, this is really about balancing the scales. It's recognizing that things have to be balanced, right? So maybe right now isn't the time when things are going to balance themselves out, right? Because there's so many different factors that go into all kinds of things. And so in this particular situation, I feel that you're really needing to really focus in on yourself and what your greatest heart truly desires in the situation. You ask for that and then you let it go. You just allow it to fall where it falls, allow it to be what it is, and then just let it go. Okay? Because it's all going to balance itself out. And here you have the High Priestess. Look at this. So this is ultimately letting you know that there are things, you might not be seeing the action right now. You might not actually be seeing the results that you want to see in whatever's transpiring this month. But know that there are, things happening behind the scenes that you are not aware of. And I feel, and you will become aware of them when you actually focus in on that spiritual side, when you really focus in on yourself and really listen to your inner guidance and your intuition. I feel that if you do that, pile 2, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that things are moving, that they are transitioning the way they are meant to transition. And that as long as you keep yourself from trying to steer it in a certain way or control it in any form or fashion, then it will work itself out in a timely fashion where it benefits all, where it is equal and fair for the benefit of all those involved. Okay? So, next we have lighten your load. Yes, I love this because this is ultimately saying here, pile 2, that I feel that you're carrying on this huge burden. You're carrying on more than you need to. And I feel that the only reason why you're carrying on more than you need to is because you're trying so hard to control it a certain way. You're trying to steer a narrative in a certain specific way. And this is where you're needing to just drop it, let it go, allow it to be what it is, and then just wash your hands of it. Okay, so lighten your load, give it to your guides, give it to your angels. Remember, once you give it to them, they hear everything and they take on everything. Don't constantly go back and repeat and ask for the same thing over and over and over again. You only need to ask once, and then just let nature take its course. Allow things to transpire the way they are meant to. I love this. Pile 2. I love when I see these affirming cards. So your next card is, look at this, intuition. I love this. I feel this month is really about you really becoming more enlightened with your intuition. I feel that your intuition is growing and it's expanding and you're learning a lot of higher lessons. And I feel that this month is really going to be the month where you expand that even further. And next you have new beginnings. Yes. So a lot of people that I have read for so far for this new year are basically experiencing new beginnings. They are letting go of old cycles, of old patterns, of old beliefs that no longer serve them, and they're transitioning themselves into a newer beginning. And in order to do that, you have to really trust your inner guidance, trust your intuition, and know that you are being led. So, pile 2, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, Spirit Fam. Welcome, pile 3, to your February message. I am so excited to have you here today, and I am so looking forward to giving you this beautiful message for the month of February. So let's go ahead and dive right into your February message. So pile 3, we are starting out with Truth Be Told. I love this. So this truth be told, I have to be very honest with you here. I absolutely love its message. And we also have Treasure Island. Sorry, I had to really see what that was. So starting off pile 3, we are starting off with Truth Be Told and Treasure Island. I feel that this month, in the month of February, is really going to be a change for you. I feel that ultimately what's transpiring is that all of the illusions that have sort of been cluttering your mind or your vision for where you're wanting to go or what you're wanting to do is sort of being stripped away. I feel that you're now starting to see beyond what is currently transpiring or what is currently going on or what is trying to deter you from seeing the truth. And I feel that now that you understand everything, now that you see the truth, now that you see everything for what it is, you're charging forward and you're not allowing yourself to be strapped or caged in any way. I feel that you're allowing your own intuition to really guide you, to lead you towards the thing that you ultimately desire the most. Treasure Island. I love this because Treasure Island is all about finding the things that bring you joy, that bring you love, that bring you delight, and really recognizing and understanding that you are a treasure to behold. I feel one of the biggest things with Treasure Island is I feel that a lot of times we tend to ignore all of the little beautiful things that we already have within us or around us. And sometimes we become oblivious to it because we're around it all of the time. And so we don't see it as treasure, but it is treasure. And I feel that there is more to behold, more to find, right? And I feel that when I look at the Truth Be Told and I look at the Treasure Island together, what I'm actually seeing is this ability to recognize that you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to find the big golden nuggets that we ultimately seek deep within ourselves, and allowing that journey, that voyage towards seeking and finding to be a part of our everyday, of that joy and fulfillment in our everyday. So it's a very interesting that that's kind of what I was picking up here, pile 3, because I could read this an entirely different way, but that's really ultimately what I'm hearing. And here's what I want to point out, because I feel this is really about you discovering more about who you are and learning to be in love with who you are, to seeing yourself behind the mask, to really recognize that the labels or the way that you sort of label yourself or identify yourself isn't truly who you are, right? You're needing to dig deeper, dig deep inside yourself in order to uncover the big golden nuggets, the big discovery. With both of these cards, I really want you to look and notice that both of them have these beautiful hearts in both of them. These beautiful hearts, right? So this is ultimately talking about how this is really about leading you towards love. And it's that pure, unconditional love, that deeper knowing that you are the gift, you are the treasure, you are the one that is unique and authentic all on your own. And you don't need anybody else to make you complete or to make you whole. Okay. So next we have, you are ready for more. I love this because what this is saying here, pile 3, is this is saying your career is growing and blossoming. Now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating. So this is interesting because I was reading this, what I was picking up was more along the lines of self-love, self-discovery. But I can also see how this can be about your career or, and how you transition from where you are to where you want to be, right? And how you ultimately need to just continue to grow and move forward and seek that treasure that you are ultimately wanting. Next, we have prioritize self-care. Okay, so this is both. I love that this is both because this is basically saying that this month is all about prioritizing yourself, making sure that you make enough time for self-love and self-care. Because it says, you do so much for others. It's time for you to experience the love you deserve and let others help you. And it's also about recognizing your worth and your value. So I have this shirt that I actually bought, and every time I wear it, I get so many people commenting on my shirt and compliment me. And it says, know your worth and charge tax. And I love that because you have to know your worth in order to be able to prioritize your self-love and your self-care. And that means you're not going to compromise your desires or your wishes for anything or anyone. So I feel this month is really about you blossoming into into someone that is more confident, more loving, more willing to love on themselves and dote on themselves and prioritize themselves. I absolutely love that. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here, pile 3. I feel like we're moving really, really, really quickly, but I mean, the message is pretty clear here. So with the truth be told, it's a 14, which is a 5. So that means change, right? So it means that this month, you know, and this is February, so it is the love month, right? So instead of, you know, if you're someone who really doesn't have a special someone to celebrate Valentine's Day with, then don't let that deter you from being your own Valentine. Don't let that deter you from recognizing that you can dine and wine yourself and swoon yourself and be your own Valentine and love and nurture yourself, right? With Treasure Island, it is a 9. So this means that whatever beliefs or perceptions, ideas that you have that relate to not being worthy is what needs to come to an end. So I feel that that is completing a whole complete cycle here where, you know, because a lot of times you might want to change careers, you might want to move on, but you have that doubt in your mind where you're like, well, do I have the skills? Do I have the talents? Can I do it? Right? You don't believe in yourself enough, or you don't have enough worthy in yourself. You're not confident, right? So I feel that's what needs to come to an end, because you now need to be able to move forward, move ahead. So we have the Queen of Swords starting off for you here, pile 3. And you have the Page of Swords. Okay. So right off the bat, I feel that you're very much in this stage where you are still learning how to be the Queen of Swords. You are learning how to be more discerning about the things that you're allowing into your life and the things that you're really wanting to partake in. The Queen of Swords does things, she makes her decisions based off of her intellect. She doesn't really look at it from an emotional perspective, right? Because she's very discerning about what she is going to allow in and what she isn't. And I feel in this particular instance, you're still very fresh at self-care, self-love, right? And you're still learning, but you're also in that phase where you're wanting to know how to be and really step into that, you know, Queen of Swords energy where you're like, I'm done with the BS. I'm no longer gonna, you know, put forth energy and effort into things that aren't going to give back. Okay. Next we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. What this is saying is, and I'm just going to say this right off the bat, if you are wanting to change careers, now is the time to do it. Do not waste your time. I really feel you need to cut your losses and see things for what they really are, right? You got to cut through all the bullshit. I'm going to just say it plain and simple here, pile 3. You got to cut through all the BS. You have learned, you might not know everything, but you can easily learn what you need to know in order to move into this new career or this new position that you are ultimately wanting to get. I feel that you need to really run towards the things that will make you happy, that will bring you the greatest amount of joy. And you need to let go of any fear and doubt of not being successful in that aspect, right? Because here's what they're saying. So with the Knight of Pentacles here, the Knight of Pentacles is a very loyal knight. He's very consistent, very dedicated to his job, his duties, his tasks, and his responsibilities. And I feel that this is also you here, pile 3. You're very loyal and you're very dedicated. And I feel that sometimes people will take advantage of that. But when you are standing in the Queen of Swords position, you can call BS a mile a minute. You just have to be confident enough to know that I can do this and it's not going to hurt me in any way. Okay. Here's what I want you to know. You have the 6 of Wands here, which tells me, pile 3, that you are going to be successful in this endeavor. It is merely you really asking yourself the deep, hard questions of, do you feel that you are worthy to stand in the limelight of this new career or this new position? Do you feel that you are confident enough to be willing to recognize your value, right? To know your worth, and then to charge tax because you recognize, I'm worth that. I deserve that. And so I feel that this month is really about you continuing to toil towards the things that you are wanting for your future. But I feel that you're going to need to start making some decisions. You're going to have to start making some choices here about what you're going to want to actually do, and then be willing to be courageous enough to do it. Okay, pile 3. So next we have closure. Okay, I do feel that you are at a time right now where you are closing a lot of doors that you feel no longer serve you. I feel that this is probably you, if you're wanting to change careers, pile 3, then this could really be you needing to just actually take action and recognize that, if you're in a position that there's no more room for growth for you, that you've learned all that you've needed to learn, then maybe now's the time for you to, pick up and leave and go somewhere else, because you have skills and talents and abilities that other people would value, but you have to value it enough in yourself to know that. Okay. So I feel that you're now in a place where things are coming to an end. And I feel that, yep, look at this, change, pile 3. I think it's time for some change. I think that, what used to work for you in the past is no longer valid, right? It's no longer beneficial for you. I think you've learned all that you've needed to learn in the position that you're in, and now is the time that you sort of bow out and say, I need to move on. I need to move ahead. Next, we have timeout, and here's what's important with the timeout. The timeout is really sort of a reflection and a pause period for you to really make sure that before you make those decisions, before you actually take action, you need to make sure that you're not emotionally attached to something, or that your head is in the right space, because you're going to need to have that mental clarity and that emotional stability in order to truly charge ahead and to cut all your ties and do what is best for you. And sometimes that requires us to just sort of take a time out and to really reflect, am I really ready for this? Really ask ourselves those deep, hard questions on, is this ultimately where I want to go? Is this where I'm ultimately being led? So pile 3, this is your message this month. I want to thank you so much for being here today. And I cannot wait to see you for your new message next month. Bye, guys. Hi, pile 4. Welcome to your February message. I am so grateful to have you here, and I truly appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's go ahead and dive right into your February message. Okay, pile 4. We are starting off with Milk and Honey. I absolutely love this card. This is all about the sweetness in life. Next we have, time for a nap. Okay, pile 4. I feel that the month of February for you here is all about number 1, prioritizing some relaxation and some timeouts. And also just allowing yourself to be in a state of play and of sweetness, and surrender to that. But one thing I'm definitely picking up here with you, pile 4, is that you might be someone who likes to constantly be on the go. You might be someone who doesn't really prioritize rest and play very well. And I feel that this month is really going to be the month where you need to experience the sweetness in life and be grateful for the things that you have, and just allow yourself the pleasures, right? Like I keep hearing pleasures. You could be denying yourself a lot of things. And this month is really going to be about you. It is a you month, okay? Because the time for a nap is really stating that, when you expend out a lot of energy, you need to replenish the energy that you expend. And so you have to allow yourself times of rest to recuperate, to rejuvenate yourself so that you could be fully charged, right? So it could be that maybe you're draining your battery too much and now you need to recharge your batteries this month so that you could, be at a level where you constantly are and not keep depleting yourself over and over and over again, okay? Milk and honey. I absolutely love that because it to me, it truly recognizes that sometimes we take for granted all of the wonderful, beautiful things that are in our everyday life. And when we often take them for granted, we don't really spend our time experiencing the pleasures or the joys or the beauty of those things. And I feel this month is really about you just doing that, right? Like recognizing how much, you maybe take yourself for granted, maybe not giving yourself enough time to truly appreciate that which you have or that which you give, right? And I feel that this is really about you just allowing yourself to experience the joys, the wonder, the beauty, the experience of being in a full state of bliss, okay? So next we have be honest with yourself. That's interesting. So the be honest with yourself is a 5, which is about change. So here's your message for be honest with yourself. It is saying all your feelings, even the difficult ones, have a message for you. Accept your truth, then let source take it from there. What this is ultimately saying here, pile 4, is that sometimes when we are faced with difficulties, we have a really hard time really focusing on the truth. Sometimes we like, by just being in the experience of experiencing something horrible or not really wanting to be consciously aware of what is actually transpiring, we can sort of delude ourselves, or we can feed into the illusion of something that we know is not happening, right? But we make ourselves believe that it is that way because it makes us feel better. It makes us feel more comfortable, right? And in this instance, I think your team, pile 4, really wants you to just be honest with yourself. They're wanting you to acknowledge how you are feeling about yourself, about your situation, about your everyday life. The fact that this came up in the milk and honey, I feel this is really about you needing to really be honest with yourself about how much you deny yourself. You deny yourself the pleasures and the joys of rest and relaxation and play. And I feel that you need to experience those feelings. I feel you need to experience that milk and honey and that rest, because ultimately it will make you feel 10 times better, right? Because then it's something that you look forward to and it helps you to bring more of that in, okay? Next, we have embrace this magical moment. Okay, now for this card, it is a number 11. So it's really about, awakening, right? It's really about giving you knowledge and wisdom. And what it's saying is you are in the perfect energetic space for manifesting miracles. Allow your wishes to be fulfilled. So here's the wonderful thing. In time for a nap, what that's really saying is it's wanting you to sort of detach from the everyday and allow yourself that time to rest. And the reason for that is because when we are allowing our minds to take a rest, when we are allowing ourselves to be rejuvenated, what's transpiring is that we're more open, we're more receptive to the guidance or the signs or the wisdom that our guides and angels provide for us, because we're more apt to hear what's truly what they're saying and what's truly going on, that it opens up this big aha moment for you, and it allows you to really take in all of that knowledge and that wisdom. And this is where miracles do happen, right? It's when we're doing stuff that we feel we don't need to be doing, right? And I feel I can tell you from my own personal experience, Pile 4, it is in the moments when I am like resting and I'm vegging out on the couch and just falling in and out of sleep where I receive some of my greatest messages and greatest aha moments, where I'm like, oh, because it just hits you, right? And that's because you're clear. You're not really trying to control anything, and you're not trying to manipulate anything. You're just open. So I feel this is where this month, this is what it's going to be like for you, because you're going to be more open and receptive to information that your guides and your angels have for you. So let's go ahead and dive right into your tarot. Okay, we are starting out with the Seven of Swords. So I feel that for a while now here, Pile 4, you might have been lying to yourself about what was really going on. You know, you might tell yourself, I don't need rest. I don't need to enjoy the pleasures of life to truly appreciate my life, right? But here's the thing. Your actions will always speak louder than your words. And I feel that with the Seven of Swords, this is all about deception. So how is, use this in a way, right? How are the thoughts that you constantly have about yourself deceiving you from truly honoring yourself in allowing you to fully give in to your pleasures or to experience the joys and bliss of life? I really want you to explore that, because I feel that ultimately what's going on here is that I feel that your fears or your doubts or whatever is rolling around in your head is really preventing you from truly aligning with your heart, right? Because here we have the Queen of Cups. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Your intuition comes from the heart. It does not come from the mind. So understand that a lot of times when we are overly processing or we are overly thinking about things, that is not your spiritual guidance. That is not your intuition. That is your ego talking. And this is where you need to become aware of your ego versus your intuition. The Queen of Cups is following her heart because she's connected to the divine through her intuition. And she gives wholeheartedly because she knows that she is connected to that infinite source. And I feel that for you, it's really about you needing to be more aware of your intentions with your actions, but also understanding that your thoughts are deceiving you and making you think that you're connected intuitively and you're making intuitive choices when in reality, you're not, right? So this is what you're needing to let go of here with the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is letting you know that, I feel that maybe this month could be an ego death for you, because this is really about you, walking away from and turning your back on the old ways of how you used to do things or how things used to be, right? And I feel that this is really going to be a time for you to sort of start changing old patterns, old beliefs, old intentions, those kinds of things, in order for you to welcome in something fresh, something new, something more balanced, something more in alignment with your higher self, right? Because next we have Justice. I absolutely love this here, Pile 4. So again, I feel that this is you cutting out all of the things that you know are no longer in alignment with your higher self. They're no longer serving you in a way that is balanced and equal and fair and beneficial for all. And just as I said that on my actual camera, it said 1111. So pay very close attention to that. And the Justice card is number 11. Okay, so the Justice card is all about fairness. It is all about the law of, it's all about the law of cause and effect. Understanding that every cause has an effect and every effect has a cause. And so you have to become one with that. You have to understand that. You have to understand that, every action has a reaction, right? And when you are aware of that, you will be able to then cut out what you no longer need, right? And in this case, you're ending with the Three of Swords, which is telling me here that you're needing to let go of all of the pain and the sorrow. And I feel that's what's currently being washed away this month. I feel that you're currently, letting go of all of the the pain and the struggle and the stress and the anxiety that has sort of been coming at you for quite a long time. And so this is an absolutely beautiful message. I feel that overall you're in a fresh new beginning here, pile 4. And I feel that this is where you need to recognize your strength. Look at that. You need to recognize how powerful and strong you truly are, because I feel that when you do that, you'll be able to really let go of all preconceived ideas of who you are, who you were, and you'll be able to really transform, allow yourself to shed those old layers and really become who you are meant to become, right? But also recognizing that that stuff takes time. It isn't just going to happen overnight, okay? Next, you have patience. And I love this because I feel that this is all about balance. This is all about understanding that, again, as I mentioned, things take time. And it's really about, making sure that the scales are balanced, right? Making sure that, with justice here, that everything is working out in a way that it is meant to work out. Next, we have physical activity. I feel this month is really going to be a month where you really need to explore some form of physical activity as a way, an outlet, right? As a way to relieve stress, to relieve anxiety, to really wash yourself clean of all these things that no longer serve you and that no longer benefit you in any way here, pile 4. So, pile 4, this is your message for the month of February. I want to thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.